Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue à la séance de conseil extraordinaire à la maison, mais ici en salle aussi. On va procéder tout de suite à l'adoption de l'ordre du jour. J'ai-tu quelqu'un pour le proposer? Merci Claude Giroux et Daniel Meunier pour l'appuyer. Comme toujours, on passe tout de suite aux périodes de questions. Est-ce qu'on a des questions en ligne? Non, merci Patricia. On a une question ici dans la salle, Monsieur Tommy. S'il vous plaît, c'est à toi.
Yeah, thank you. I guess it's not. I was here at the last meeting concerning 122 Pine about the touristic permit. I guess my question is, I guess the municipality want to look into servitudes that we had. And I sent an email to the urbanism about, you know, the conflict, I guess, of the municipal issuing of maybe a permit and our notarized servitudes. I didn't get a response. I got an automated response saying they got the email, but I never heard anything back. And I was wondering if it's coming up for a vote again, whether the municipality has looked into legally, you know, do our servitudes, are they a precedent over the municipal servitudes or rules?
Thank you for that. Monsieur Derry, est-ce que je devrais répéter en français ce qu'il demande, Monsieur Tommy? Merci. Monsieur Tommy, pour ceux à la maison, nous demande de vérifier, ou si on a vérifié les faits de ses servitudes sur son propriété ou sur une propriété au chemin Pine. Puis, Monsieur Tommy, you talk of servitudes. Do you mean servitudes or do you mean conventions?
They're called servitudes. Yeah, they're easements that are notarized on each lot that's sold.
Pardon, Richard?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. The answer is yes. We met, CCU met again this week. We discussed this file and the answer is yes. So we are aware of the information. Puis je vais y aller en français, just so you know. Après vérification, moi, je peux confirmer que la résidence en question est conforme à notre règlement municipal. Il y a peut-être un problème qui existe entre le promoteur et le résident, mais à mon avis, le dossier est civil, mais ne peut pas être considéré ici à la table. So what I said is that we at CCU at the Urbanism Committee, and I happen to be the chair, so that's just good luck. We reviewed the file and the request for the permit for a primary resident conforms to our bylaws. And as the recommendation from the CCU was favorable.
Yeah, but I think that decision would puts the municipality should take into consideration that people have signed rules and regulations when they've bought property. And it's not really just with the promoter, it's with everyone who bought there. So everyone bought under the same rule.
The rules be that there are no businesses that operate.
No commercial use and only single family use only.
D'accord. I'm just gonna, Madame Loubier, est-ce que tu peux préciser l'opération d'un
Airbnb?
non. Dans notre résidence principale, est-ce que c'est considéré une entreprise légalement?
Il est difficile pour moi de donner une opinion sur le banc, je n'ai pas les documents, mais ça a été, je sais que ça a été décidé au CCU et ça a été pris en compte et que le CCU n'en a pas tenu compte. Donc,
Okay.
voilà.
So she's basically saying without the file in front of her, she can't confirm what I've asked her, which is to tell me clearly whether somebody operating short-term usage of their primary residence is legally considered a business. She's not prepared to pronounce on it, but
Well, strictly, it is commercial because they are doing it for profit. So it's almost like running a hotel, although it's just one place you rent. It's short-term rental. It's renting by the day like a hotel. So that's commercial use. That's not a normal house use or family house use. You know, inviting friends over, having family over, whatever you do. renting by the day is commercial use.
Okay,
And that's what I was saying, if the municipality was adopting something that said, look, if ever we're gonna hand out a permit, we should find out whether this landowner has previous commitments on their land, so we don't conflict with those agreements, because the municipality is just causing a legal fight, right? By issuing the permit.
yes, that's right.
Yes.
And we're not doing it intentionally, but,
but it-
but our information is, and we verified it with the MRC de Colline. Our information is that it's not considered a business legally, and therefore it is conform with our bylaws that they be allowed to operate for the permit they've asked for. So there may, and that's what I said in French, is there may well be a civil suit here between you and the homeowner, but that is not the concern around this table. You know, that's between you and the homeowner.
Yeah, I get that, but
And it's unfortunate, and no, we're not trying to force it,
no,
but
but the municipality, how does it say that it's not a commercial or a business use? That a short-term rental place is not for business or for commercial use?
I'll defer to Monsieur Derry. Est-ce que tu peux l'expliquer, ou Sylvie, est-ce que tu peux lui expliquer clairement le pourquoi?
Anything for profit is really commercial use.
La municipalité doit prendre des décisions sur sa réglementation. Elle ne peut pas décider ou prendre des décisions eu égard aux citoyens ou au débat civil entre deux voisins. Donc, elle ne peut pas se prononcer au-delà de sa réglementation. Et je crois ici, sans donner une opinion juridique, je pense que c'est ça ici qui est demandé. Donc, le conseil ne peut pas aller au-delà de sa réglementation.
There
You
was
want-
other Airbnbs in Edelweiss that were taken away also. The license was taken away, I believe. Mark Appleby, who had a Airbnb on the ski hill. Was that because of the servitudes that they had, or was it another reason? Because I know the neighbors were looking at those servitudes, and they went to a notary or a lawyer to. And the next thing you know, I heard there was no Airbnb in there anymore, so.
I wish I could answer that question with any kind of assurances. I don't have the answer, and none of us have the answer about why Tim Appleby lost his permit, quite frankly, not sitting here tonight. If you write to me, I can, have a different conversation.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So your finding is it's not, Airbnb is not commercial use.
Airbnb is commercial use. Airbnb, or the use of your primary residence for occasional stays, is not
What's
commercial
occasional?
use.
What's occasional?
Definition of occasional. Non-regular, short-term, few times a year is non-regular. It's
On
occasional.
Airbnb site, is it limited to how many times you can rent it?
No,
So how do you know it's conditional or limited?
We trust. And if it's not, then somebody can
So
report it.
in your permit, it says it's conditional or limited to how much use?
It's occasional.
What's occasional again? Just once a week?
What is he?
We should discuss here.
it's
It's really a
It's okay.
fixed matter. And we cannot provide the answer without the document. And you're asking the counselor to give you a legal advice, which she's not able to.
Well, no, I'm just asking how they made their decision. If they made their decision because and they have you guys created this criterion, right? Part-time use or something. What does it mean? I mean, is it not your condition you put on it? Or is it something the Quebec government's done or something? It's the provincial government's created it?
So I do us a favor. And if we pass this tonight and there's a problem and it's not occasional, as Monsieur Giroux has just pointed out, Pam, it could be occasionally every week. If it's that, let us know, because that is absolutely not the purpose of that bylaw.
So how would I know if it's occasional or not occasional? How many times a week is occasional?
It's not. Multiple, every week is not occasional.
Every
3
week
times a year is occasional. 5 times a year is occasional. Every week is not occasional.
Is 20 times a year occasional?
I'm not going to get in. Okay, we've done this enough.
No, I know. I'm just wondering how I would know that it's not occasional. because
If it becomes a
municipalities
problem,
say-
if we pass it and it becomes a problem, let us know immediately.
I'd rather try to stop before it happens. It would be easier for me than to have to do it afterwards. So if I could if I could reason with the municipality on the rules and servitudes that someone signed for their land, and the municipality could respect that, then we would save a lot of problems. That's what I'm asking.
We are hoping to always, when we issue permits, to err on the side of trust. We trust that people are du bonne foi, as they say in French, and will operate accordingly. If this person, I don't know who they are, if this person is circumventing in an effort to run a proper Airbnb establishment, that'll be brought to our attention, I'm quite sure.
I don't know the rules that you're talking about for the Airbnbs, but is it, when you say occasional, I just don't know what that means. Like you said, it's maybe 5 times a year, 5 weekdays a year, 5 weekends a year, 5 weeks a year, I'm not sure, but how would I know if they're breaking any rules that you guys created? I don't know. I would have to know how many times occasional is. What I'm saying is I would have to know what rules being broken.
There's no set number in our bylaw.
Okay, so there's no set number, so how could they ever be responsible for breaking that rule? There's no set number.
Monsieur Tommy,
I don't know.
le comité consultatif d'urbanisme suit la procédure en utilisant d'abord un principe qui s'appelle la bonne foi. Cette propriété-là remplit tous les critères pour un hébergement dans sa résidence principale. It means that they have to live there. It's their residence. We've looked at, because it was a concern, and this is their address. They have their license in Quebec at that address.
So are you
So
saying they have
if
to
they
live, they have to be in
rented-
the house when they rent it, or is it?
Excuse me, if they live there at least 6 months a year, it's their residence. So therefore, we're not there to visualize if they're there 6 months. Nous croyons que la personne nous a donné les renseignements de bonne foi. So, based on that, we allow. Now, so far, we have no premises to tell us that they will not abide, because they just ask the permit. Si ils contreviennent, la municipalité va intervenir. Is that okay?
Well,
That's all. All the conditions were filled.
we don't know but the people who live around there don't know these conditions that you're talking about. And in
It's
fact,
on the
You know-
the municipality's
the
website.
only reason I know about this really is because they posted a sign 50 feet up from their entrance, so no one could read it. And the only reason is because some neighbor walked up to actually read the sign to say it's a notice for a Airbnb or a maison touristique. No one knew because you'd have to walk up to the house to read it, basically. So it seemed like they were not wanting anyone to know exactly what was going. So when you see stuff like that, you wonder why, why is it like that? I mean, the rule should be if you're gonna post a sign to a notice to your neighbors, it should be right at the road, right at the end of your property, not 65 feet up the driveway where you can't read it, The rating is as big as what's on there and it's 60 feet away, you can't read. So my point is that it would be a lot easier if the municipality knew what these people were, if these people were, whoever is applying for a permit, that they knew, they would ask the people, please submit to us. When you say you have to meet all these rules, one of those rules should be, have you signed any servitudes when you bought the property that are notarized that contravene any of these ask for a permit? That should be one of the things on the list, I think. It would save a lot of problems for us as developers, that we don't have to, your regulations aren't the same as ours exactly. Our minimum square footage is different than yours, and all these other things, siding, exterior siding, it's all different. So when they go get a permit, a building permit, they get a building permit from you, but they don't necessarily, it has to be approved by us, but they actually sometimes go to you first to get the permit before it gets approved by us, but it would be easier if the municipality and the developers work together on that one to say, look, do you have any rules you have to follow in that subdivision that you're in? Because you're giving a permit only on your rules and not on the rules of the subdivision. I think there's some conflict of interest that could be solved in that case, and also in this Airbnb case.
We're not in a situation of a conflict of interest.
Okay,
What's
so,
that?
We're not in a situation of conflicts of interest.
so I'm gonna stop this conversation. We're well over time to begin with. If we need to talk more, by all means, be in touch and we can continue to chat about this. But in terms of what you just suggested, can you imagine how much time and resources it would take the municipality to micromanage every different developer's servitudes in a municipality? I mean, it's
I don't know how many there are, but.
lots.
How many rules?
And this sort of situation you're talking of exists in Ward 5 around Usher Lake and Lac Notre Dame as well. Like they're everywhere, and we couldn't possibly micromanage all that stuff.
You would have to, all you would have to say is, please bring please bring a written approval from the developer where you bought that have those servitudes to us, and then we can issue the permit. That way they.
This is civil. I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop it
I
right
know,
here.
but just
It's
all the
civil.
Civil stuff, you know?
It's civil, but it's civil. So it's a notary issue. The notary should have pointed it out. The notary should be making sure all these things are happening. It's not the municipality's job.
No,
Where this file is concerned, they're conform, they meet our bylaws, and we will vote tonight on whether or not we approve their request. It was recommended by the CCU.
and your basis on that Airbnb is not a commercial business.
That's right.
It has nothing to do with any commerce.
Go ahead, Richard. Thank you.
On a basé notre décision beaucoup plus sur la responsabilité civile versus sa responsabilité municipale. Une servitude n'est pas une responsabilité municipale, mais une responsabilité civile. Donc, nous, que ce soit une business ou que ça ne soit pas, c'est pas grave. Tant qu'il rencontre tous les règlements de la municipalité, on est content, ça va bien. S'il y a un problème au point de vue de loi civile, nous, on s'éloigne du dossier puis on ne touche pas à ça. C'est vraiment ça le point, là. C'est est-ce que c'est une responsabilité municipale, civile ou municipale? Dans votre cas, la servitude, c'est civil, elle vous appartient comme promoteur. Dans notre cas, notre réglementation nous autorise à donner un permis pour la personne au chemin pain.
But you
C'est simple.
I understand what you mean with civil, it's a civil thing, not a municipal thing, but you can understand how easy this could be solved by not having to sue every person that goes to get a permit from this municipality for an Airbnb.
That's your
That
opinion.
would solve a lot of problems.
That's an opinion.
Right?
It's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Collègues, je vous demande la patience. Il y a Monsieur Kodish en ligne qui a le main levée. On va procéder avec sa question. Allez-y, Monsieur Kodish. Tu es en sourdine, Monsieur Kodish. Est-ce que tu veux toujours demander une question?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Yeah, no, we're the
Hi.
primary residents at 122 Shaman Pine. So we're just been listening to what Mr. Tommy and what the council are saying. So we had a question, but I think that question has been answered with everything that you said. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you. Il n'y a plus de main levée, on peut passer à autre chose, Patricia? Merci beaucoup. Documents, correspondances et informations, je peux confirmer que toutes les déclarations des intérêts pécuniaires y ont été déposées à temps. Merci. 4A, liste des factures à payer. Comme qu'a dit Mme Luplier, c'est de la poutine administrative. À chaque séance, nous, on a des dépenses à défrayer. Collègues, as-tu des questions, commentaires, inquiétudes? As-tu des questions? Non? OK. On est tous en accord? Oui, je m'en viens. Comment ça fait que c'est pas ce matin? Y a-t-il un proposeur?
Oui.
Richard Gervais et Caroline Larocque. Merci. Tout le monde est d'accord? Merci. Greffe, affaires juridiques et DGA. 5A, adoption du PTI. Selon la loi, le conseil municipal doit adopter le programme d'investissement ou PTI pour les 3 prochaines années, qui sont le 2024, 2025 et 2026, mais aussi le budget pour l'année à venir, au plus tard le 31 décembre de chaque année. En raison de difficultés administratives et d'une manque de personnel, nous avons rencontré des problèmes liés à l'analyse du PTI et du budget. Par conséquent, nous avons décidé qu'il serait préférable de reporter leur adoption de quelques jours. À cette fin, le conseil municipal fixe l'adoption du PTI 24, 25, 26 et du budget 2024 au 22 janvier 2024 lors de 2 réunions extraordinaires distinctes. Et pour votre information, nous avons déjà eu la confirmation de la part du ministère que tout est conforme pour le rapporter en janvier. Ça, c'est des très bonnes nouvelles, collègues. Je ne sais pas si vous étiez au courant. Y a-t-il des questions, commentaires? Excellent. Est-ce que je peux avoir un proposeur? Merci. Appuyeur? Merci. Claude Giroux? On est tous en accord? Merci, excellent. 6A, développement durable. Association des motoneigistes du Pontiac. Utilisation de la chemin Beurry. Comme dans les années précédentes, on donne permission pour les motoneiges de passer à cet endroit. Je comprends bien que peut-être, c'est-tu la dernière année, M. Derry, à cause du nouveau hôtel de ville? Excellent. Questions, commentaires, collègues?
Oui, peut-être. À faire dans la première partie suivant le résolu, chemin de la Beurry traverse, utilisation de la chaussée sur une distance de 145 mètres uniquement pour l'hiver 2003-2024, comme pour le prochain paragraphe. Me suivez-vous, Maître Lubier? Est-ce que c'est possible? Est-ce que vous saisissez?
Comprendre, mais sauf que dans la mesure où on adopte une résolution pour ça chaque année, l'année prochaine qu'on adopte, c'est pas accepter le trajet.
Je voulais simplement m'assurer que, comme pour le paragraphe de l'hôtel de ville, que ce soit clair, que ça aussi, c'est pour 2023 et 2024.
Est-ce qu'on est d'accord avec le changement, collègue? Merci.
Oui.
Avec les changements, Sylvie, s'il vous plaît.
C'est fait.
Merci. Questions, commentaires de plus? Non, merci. Est-ce que je peux avoir un proposeur? Merci, Claude Giroux, encore. Merci, Daniel Meunier, de l'appuyer. On est tous en accord?
Oui.
Excellent, merci. 6B, demande d'usage conditionnel 122 chemin Pine. Collègues, je pense qu'on a assez vu le dossier ce soir. Y a-t-il quelqu'un qui a des questions, commentaires, inquiétudes? Non, merci. Est-ce que je peux avoir un proposeur? Monsieur Lebel, Monsieur Meunier qui l'appuie. On est tous en accord?
Oui.
Merci. Travaux publics, 7A. Abrogation des résolutions 23-3-26, 23-3-27. Vraiment simple, celui-là, c'est une erreur d'administration. Pas plus compliqué que ça. Questions, commentaires, collègues? Non, excellent. Appuyeur? Proposé, Francis Beausoleil, appuyé de Claude Giroux. Merci. On est tous en accord? Merci. Acceptation définitive de la phase 3 du chemin Francis, un beau petit projet développement qui est maintenant fini. Questions, commentaires? Excellent. Quelqu'un qui veut proposer? Francis Beausoleil, appuyé par Daniel, merci. Excellent. On est tous en accord? 7C, acceptation provisoire, projet de développement forêt des érables, phase 2.2 et 2.3, montée du Belvédère. Comme ça dit dans le titre, c'est une acceptation provisoire, c'est un nouveau projet à Lac-des-Loups. C'est la dernière étape avant de l'acceptation finale. Questions, collègues, commentaires? Merci. J'ai-tu quelqu'un qui veut le proposer? Francis Beausoleil, appuyé par, merci, Pierre Lebel. Est-ce qu'on est tous en accord? Excellent. Levé de la séance. L'ordre du jour est épuisé. Il est, je ne sais pas quelle heure. Ah, je suis trop tard ce soir. 7h56. Attends, est-ce que j'ai manqué une période de questions, tu me dis? J'ai tout sauté par-dessus? Bon, tiens, pas de questions pour ça. On peut... Pardon? Oui. Oui, mais il n'y a pas une deuxième période de questions? OK, merci. Patricia, avant que tu fermes la séance, moi, j'ai une petite quelque chose à dire. Merci. Alors que nous approchons la fin d'une autre année remarquable, au nom de notre conseil municipal, je tiens à vous souhaiter à tous ici et à la maison de joyeuses fêtes et aussi une bonne année. Que les fêtes vous apportent des moments de joie, d'amour et de rire avec vos proches et que 2024 vous apporte beaucoup de santé et de bonheur. À notre personnel municipal et à nos pompiers, merci pour votre travail, votre dévouement et votre enthousiasme tout au long de l'année. Nous vous souhaitons une pause bien méritée et un nouveau départ pour l'année à venir. Sachez, s'il vous plaît, que nous vous apprécions. Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Commentaire, collègue, non? OK. Fin session. Merci.